Okay.
So your deductible has to be like at least 1,000, or if not 1,500, I think.
Ours is 6,500
Annual,
Your annual deductible per
for help for our family.
per person.
for the entire family.
Yeah,
For the entire plan or per person?
for the entire plan.
Okay.
So, in my past life, we've had no health care until we paid at least $1,500 out of pocket. But then that also allowed you to contribute to a health savings account, which was extremely beneficial for your taxes.
Right, which is,
Yeah.
this is advantageous too.
Right.
So, anyways, I'll show you forward you the email from Todd. No, in fact, everybody's got it. It's all came to you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Tony, Margaret, Art,
Yeah, I
Karen,
got it.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
I got it, yeah.
Steve, and myself. So everybody's seen it, gone over it, what it is there, so. Think it over, see what you think, and then we'll discuss it in another work session. See where we're at on that, so. Okay, next up, the Frumby's lot.
Here we are again.
There's 11 owners there. I think 7 got back with us, 5 were in favor of the proposal that we made. And then 2 of them weren't, and then the other 4 we never heard from. And that's typical. They don't show up to meetings, they don't respond, you never hear from them. So that said, I went over there the other day, one of them called me and said, you know, lot. So I went over there with F&O, looked at the lot, and there's a lot of problems. There's potholes, there's this, there's that. So, you know, the wet spring, we had a lot of dirt's washed off down in the lot, weeds are starting to grow. So we're gonna clean that part of the lot. We're gonna, what is our responsibility? We're gonna trim the brush and stuff. I call it brush, it's supposed to be bushes, looks like brush up in the north woods, you know what I'm saying? We'll get that cleaned up, get it mowed. It's supposed to be mowed, but you know how the mowing's going. Get that done, and then that's it, we're done. Other than maintaining the mowing, we're done. That's it, that's over with, so.
What do you mean, it's over with? We giving it to them, selling it to them?
We're gonna sell them and don't, we're putting it on the open market, but understand we put it in the open market, they're gonna sue us, so that just, and that's, I don't know if that's what they wanna do, but they're gonna have to pay attorney fees too.
They'll have to get together to do that.
Right, but I'm just saying.
Which they're having a hard time doing.
You're just looking at the options that
I
are here, you
understand.
know, and you go back to what 1951 or whatever it was, you know, when they bought that property to make it metered parking for the downtown Drayton shopping district. And then they formed their own police department January 1st, 1953, with 8 police officers to man 3 shifts, one of them being the chief of police, and a lieutenant and a sergeant. So that leaves you 5 patrol people to man 3 shifts. You're not gonna cover metered parking. You're not gonna, it's not gonna happen. It's just, and so they never did new metered parking there. So at that point in time, they should have cut losses, unloaded it, and got rid of it.
Well, then maybe if we, put it up for sale, and if they sue us, it doesn't mean that we have to go through with it, then maybe we can sit down and talk, because they'll finally come together.
I would like to do that ahead of time, because there's a lot of other things going on in the township besides the Frumby's lot.
I
so.
gotcha.
Gary, the 5 people that got back to you, are they interested in taking possession of it?
They were interested in the offer we made, yes.
Can't we just give it to those 5? or-
Well, again,
Oh,
if
there you
they
go.
wanna, and again, if they wanna, but without paying the attorney money to figure out how this works or what goes on, if they wanna form an LLC or whatever they wanna do, you know what I'm saying, but then they're still responsible for the entire lot, but then if they own it, they would have some enforcement
Yeah.
authority, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I would think just, you know, if there's 5 interested in them, let them take it. I mean, they got businesses there, it's gonna benefit them. I agree, clean it up right now.
Yeah.
I think maybe you should get a meeting with the 5, so we'll meet with them
We're gonna do one more meeting, just
and
basically.
just say, hey, we would.
This is where we're
Instead of
at.
us putting it on the open market, what do you think? I don't know, I think it'd be on the market for years, they really would.
Well, you know, but then you take that detention pond out of there, you know, so that chunk of property, that's the corner. And
Yeah.
that's, and again, like I said, what's it gonna be, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing really left there, you know, it's back behind those buildings, you know. Somebody'd have to come in, demolish that building, you know what I'm saying? Put the new drainage system into the storm sewer system that runs on Dixie Highway, completely redevelop that corner, then you might have something there. Businesses and lofts, be a perfect place for
Oh,
it, you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Perfect, but, again, that's something, but then, you know, and as soon as somebody sees that, you know, they're sitting on it, and then all of a sudden it's worth pie in the sky, you know, it's worth a fortune. Well, okay, but it's only worth so much, and you're only gonna get so much for it, so. But again, that's where we're at with that, so, we're getting that taken care of. As soon as that's done, we're gonna set up the meeting, and maybe you guys wanna be in the meeting, we can go ahead and, I'll let you know. We can have up to 3 of us there.
Okay.
And we'll meet over there at the Strip in one of the buildings we've done the last 2 times. And again, the people always been very cordial, very realistic, but at the same time, you know, that lot, and like I said, that I was in office for probably a year before I even knew the township owned that. I didn't know the township owned that piece of property. So, and since then, we've been plowing it, and we've been mowing it, and it's just, like I said, it's an added cost we don't need, so. What do you do? Okay, so I'll keep you guys in the loop on that. Okay, we're traveling on Williams Lake Road, north of M59. And you come up to turn back towards the old Williams Lake Road grade, you know, used to go, okay? Towards, you know, there. Well, on the corner there, there's Paula said it's about 8.5 acres. On the corner where the long big curve is and then Gale Road goes to the left there, right here, this piece of property, okay?
Right.
Road Commission for Oakland County owns this, and then you come south of Hatchery, they own that next parcel over to the airport property, okay? Pass around and look and so you can see where it is. It's the one with the arrow. Okay, there's a developer has contacted, yeah, you're looking
North
north.
of Hatchery.
Yep. The developer has contacted the road commission about the property. Well, the fact that it's in Waterford Township, they're a governmental entity and we're a governmental entity. They have offered it to us first, okay? Paula Moore using the lowest acreage piece of property that's sold in Waterford in the last 5 years, and that was a 10-acre parcel. The lowest, it was at 95 cents a square foot, and that would put that at about 352,000. And that would be the absolute lowest piece of property that's sold. There's property that's sold more than that, but she just took the lowest number of that. So basically, the minimum price would be 352,000. Well, I said, okay, my standpoint, we're not in the real estate business. We've been trying to unload property since I came into office that the townships own, and we're not collecting any tax revenue on it. It's not developed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, so we got enough wetlands in the township, you know, that were deeded back to the township because it was virtually worth nothing.
Right.
You can't tax property of no value, so we got a bunch of that. And we get 850 acres of parks, and, you know, plus town hall campus and all the fire stations and stuff, you know, so we got a lot of taxes on property already, so. But I said, again, I'll sit down and talk with the board about it and see what they've got there, but you know, it's residential, you know, but I could see they could do maybe some business on the road and some residential on the backside, basically the old backside of Williams Lake. That's the old Williams Lake Road runs in behind there.
So the road commission wants to sell this.
Yep, the road commission owns it. This developer, you know, contacted the road commission about the property. The road commission called us as a courtesy because it's in our township. We're government, they're government.
Right,
Give us
I
first
gotcha.
crack at it. So, but again, it's
So there is a developer interested?
developer's interested. Yep. He had contacted Larry Lockwood about it. And then Larry went out and looked at it, and the guy was wanting, you know, about commercial, industrial, you know, stuff like that, what we would allow there. Larry said maybe some light commercial up on the road, residential on the backside. It's all residential, you can see across the old, what do they call that now? Yeah, Richardson Boulevard, yeah, Richardson Road there, yeah, the old Williams Lake Road grade right there.
Hit the
So-
bid, start sending Margaret checks.
So,
You gotta give an answer, Derek.
the road commission owns it, they're not paying taxes on it. If we buy it from the road commission, it still won't bring any taxes in.
Hit the bid, start sending checks.
Yep.
I was gonna say, yeah, sell it.
I mean, why do we gotta? go figure
Develop away.
Yeah, like I said.
What is it zone?
What's that?
What, is there a zone to it right now?
Residential.
Public lands.
Public
No, it's
lands right
public
now.
lands.
So then,
something? That would come anyway if we
Anything
rezone
that's
it.
owned by government is public lands.
So they'd have to come before the planning commission, so we'll know what's going on.
Yep, we had to come before the planning
That's great.
commission and, you know, do a plan, but like I said, right now it's on public lands and it has no dollar value on it because it's public lands, so
Potential tax.
Accordance, that-
I asked the road commission what their dollar value was, and they hadn't done an appraisal on it yet, so they said as soon as they were done with us, they would have it appraised, so they knew how much to ask
Makes
the
sense.
developer,
How
you
many
know.
acres is that here?
I think Paula said 8.5. She had, yeah.
Is that all dry? Is there any wetland on it?
I believe that's pretty dry right
Yeah.
there.
It's a big piece of property.
Well, it'd be nice to get it on the tax roll
Because
for
then
us.
it gets real
Yeah.
dense, as soon as
I
you
just don't
turn
think
the
that
corner
real
on
estate
Century.
business
It's all developed, yeah, it's all houses and
Just,
little.
we don't really
yeah.
need
Eight and a
that.
half
It's full
acres.
timber. It's timber everywhere. There's a little belt along the road here, but other than that, it's timber right up there.
Really?
Yeah, it's all timber. Yeah. So, but again, like I said, there's different things that can be done with that. So, so I will report to the road commission tomorrow morning that we're not interested in it.
Does it have like access, just out of curiosity? Does it have
I
access?
don't think it would.
No, there's a public boat launch.
There's a road, so.
Yeah, there's a public boat
Yeah,
launch.
it doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes,
That's the part that
sometimes
the boat
parcels
launch.
across
That's
the
a
streets.
4-lane road, it's a big road.
Yeah, it is, I know.
Yeah.
Like you said, we could
But that's
commercial
boat
next
access,
to
got an island in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah.
So, anyway, so that's, I will call the road commission tomorrow morning and
So thank you, but no thank you.
things, but other things. Yeah, Larry had sent some stuff over too, some pictures of it, yeah, public lands, this is zoning on it. This is the ordinance, so. So anyways, that's where that is, so, again, like I said, they get it developed, it'll bring more tax revenue into the township. Last time I checked up on the fund was up in tax revenue, so that's a good thing. We received an email everybody did from Jason Gramlin recently about a traffic ticket that he got. Okay. I think Kim talked to him too. I talked to him. It was right over kind of the area where we're talking about it. Airport Road, the other side of the airport there, Airport Road. It was the accident right down by Tubbs. And his most recent email says this is being sent to the Oakland County Prosecutor, Michigan Attorney General, and the U.S. Department of Justice. They've given you plenty of opportunities to correct the police department misconduct, and it seems that it is just continues. At this point, some point of legal action is going to happen. Now, the email he sent me before, he sent it to the Bernstein Law Firm, Jeffrey Feiger. He named 4 or 5 of the big TV law firms out there that he had CC'd in the email, so he says, okay, but the way I understood it, he went to pass somebody, and there was somebody coming, he cut in too soon, and he hit the guy, and then he pulled off into the print shop right there at Tubbs Road, so the guy got out. The guy was loud, you know, and it was so on and so forth, and the police showed up, and they got his account of what happened, the other guy's account of what happened, and I think there might have been a witness, I don't remember, saying,
Yes,
get,
there was.
writing the guy a ticket for, you know,
So what's that gonna do with us?
well,
I
again,
was unfairly treated.
I
Yeah,
just, like I
but-
said, but just, so, but I just.
Yes,
Chief
that was the
Underwood
concern.
Address this
No.
over here?
He did address the first issue, which I was.
Yes. Yeah.
I have not sent that to him or asked him about that. Have you?
This one?
Yeah, have
Yeah,
you?
I called him, but, yeah, and Shelley forwarded to him.
And what did the chief say about
We
that?
didn't talk about it any further, I just said FYI, this is coming in. More
The
stuff. like that,
signature changed.
So,
Concerned if that truly happened with the signature change, I guess it should not
That
happen.
could be a problem.
yeah, it's possible that could have been, I just told Scott to look into it, and
Yeah.
yes, that's,
And there was no show at court. Police officer didn't show up in court.
Correct.
Right.
The one
There's
that
another one.
was originally on there, and
Right.
supposedly he was posing as this other person.
well,
he
this
on-
is
you
what,
recall
this is
that?
what
That
he's
automatically
saying.
throws it out.
That's his side of the
That's
story.
his side of the story.
Yes,
There's
that
always two
is,
sides,
there's
so-
always two sides, sometimes 3 sides,
True.
because.
I can figure that one
So right in the middle,
out.
there's the real answer, yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Oh, my goodness.
Hard enough to keep track of 2 sides.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, I really believe this should be Scott's department, let him work it out, and whatever happens,
Right.
happens.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, he sent it to the
We're
board,
not gonna-
so I just want to make sure
It's
they
already-
saw it.
Really, we have no authority over it anyways.
Tell you
To the
what I
court.
know about it, and, but he said the police did was true, then I'm assuming the judge would booted out of court.
Or the prosecutor, Margaret would look at it, and say, you know, but we're not attorneys, so it's just not our thing, I don't think. We shouldn't be.
Okay, so I wanna make sure everybody saw it, read it over.
Yeah, we read it.
I talked to you originally when I first sent the first email out, that was one where you had CC'd all the big television law firms.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's,
He was gonna move on with it and do this, okay, I can't tell you what to, what not to do. I said, you don't need to call the supervisor's office, you need to call the police department at the first district court. Once the police write the ticket, it's out of their hands, it goes to the 51st district court. Just like if we write a code enforcement violation or a building department violation or something, once we write that, we're done, it goes to the 51st district court in the township prosecutor, and they work on it from there. So the same thing with a traffic ticket, so it's in the hands of the court. They will decide whether it's, you know,
Absolutely.
just or unjust, and then go from there, so. But I don't know how much money you want to spend on it. And again, he's writing, he's CCing these law firms and talking about people, everybody he mentioned in this most recent email, you don't have to pay any fees to, you know.
Sure.
So I just wanted to make sure everybody saw that, and was up to date on that and how it goes.
did he copy the court? Like, because if they're changing names over there on the tickets, was it the court? Because it sounded like he showed up for court and that's where the name changed. Or they
No.
added the other.
He did not copy
He's
the court.
accusing the court also, court and police misconduct.
Yeah.
The court's wrong, the police department's wrong, he's right. So and he sent it just to the trustees, all 7 of us.
They should send it out to the court and ask.
County prosecutor, attorney general, and the Department of Justice are all getting this too. So I've not heard back from any of them. None of them contacted me.
That's the Attorney General.
I'll ask the police department if they've heard back from any of them.
It's gonna be on that
He's got plenty of time.
immediately.
Probably gonna get thrown out, I'm assuming.
Who knows, you know, but it's up to the court,
Again,
not us.
if what he's saying, but if what he's saying is not true, then now that the coin came up it's tails this time, it's not heads, that's the other side of the coin. So
That's right.
I'm just saying, so it's just,
There's
that's,
always standing on its edge.
Sam's on the edge, it's called a draw.
Two-headed coin, too.
Yeah. Remember that episode of The Twilight Zone where the guy, everyone used to get a paper and he'd throw it in the box, and he threw it in the box at the end, his coin stood up on the edge, and he could read people's minds and everything, and it was a horrible thing. And on his way home, he got the evening news, the paper, and he threw the coin in the box and knocked out one of the guys, hey, wait, oh, you're the guy that threw the coin and stood up on the edge, and that was it, he couldn't read people's minds anymore. That was the end of the episode of Twilight.
He's just suspense.
Until Rod Snowden came up, it was so good.
It was pretty crazy, wasn't it?
Anyways, on June 3rd, at the Waterford Senior Center, there was a senior that had her purse snatched.
Right.
And then on June 14th at Tenutas, there was a
Right.
senior that had her purse snatched. The guy was getting away in his vehicle, he jumped a curb and hit a light pole, got out, took her car, and escaped. So reports, got filed, so on and so forth, and started being investigated. Somebody recognized the guy, sent the information to township. Township in the car, and this was the vehicle that he wrecked, he had borrowed from somebody. They were able to contact him, who the guy was that borrowed it, when he borrowed it, hadn't brought it back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Security cameras showed the same person, same vehicle on the 3rd and 14th. So there was a receipt in the vehicle. There's a receipt in the vehicle. When our detectives went to the market in Pontiac with the receipt and the picture and said to the guy at the counter, so you recognize the guy, goes, yeah, you just missed him, he was just in here. He says, in fact, that's him standing right across the street.
Oh my God.
You don't think timing's everything, so,
Oh my.
and again, the guy's a wanted felon, what I'm saying? Our detective could have gone after him, he called the sheriff's department. 2 vehicles came in, he ran into the house, went up, put himself in a closet upstairs. The detective and 2 deputies went in, they arrested him, interrogated him, he confessed to everything,
He's on $1 million bond.
But
He's
yeah.
not going nowhere.
the judge had posted a $1 million bond, and once again, we ran efficiently. And the 2 people I had to cost me at Tenutas and Speedway gas station never called back or said anything more about him when they caught the guy. So in fact, they were in the process of catching him when we were actually talking there. Okay, so it was that same day, so, but once again, it's just,
That's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
They
good.
got them off the street.
yeah.
That elderly lady, she didn't get hurt, did she?
No, they went just snatched their purses away, he didn't assault either one.
How much money can you get from an old woman's purse, really? I mean,
Never know.
well, you're right, you don't know.
They're probably the only ones with cash anymore.
Probably not what she mixed.
But yeah, but that's hidden under their mattress in their backyard, you know.
Not
It's
what
just a
she,
shame somebody does
yeah,
that.
your seniors a lot more times will carry cash rather than.
That's what, yeah, because they go to the bank,
Personal.
they,
Well, maybe I'm wrong, I thought they'd give $20 or something.
No.
Well,
out,
about
you
20
know.
bucks is a fix for dope, don't you? You
Well, yeah,
go-
that's true, but you know, for $20, you're
They
in
take
prison
their-
for 10 years or something, you gotta get your
But yeah,
money.
you're not thinking rationally.
I know, that, I understand that, I just,
It's another.
no, they take the check that they're trying to pay their taxes with and they take it to the bank and give cash.
I just think if it was your mother or
Another positive
something
story for
that,
big
you
Well,
wouldn't
I know my,
Yeah, they get the,
Yeah.
they get the state
Or
coins,
a
personal
Facebook
coins.
yeah, they lost
secret.
everything in the stock
It's
market.
better.
do. I know they don't believe in banks.
And my grandma died in 1950, my grandma died in 1989, she never.
My grandparents same way, they didn't believe in
Is it going
it.
up again?
Oh, yeah,
Gold, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
gold,
She
everything.
would go to the bank, you know, and pay her
People
bills
buying
and stuff to get it, you know.
Right, but they wouldn't let them hold it.
She went right there, she kept it, but.
That's what I said, put it on their mattress, and buried it in the backyard in mason jars, and
They took the house apart, top to bottom, and found thousands of dollars stashed away in those behind pictures, taped under drawers,
Where was
inside
that?
the pages of her Bible, my grandma, my dad's mom.
we had a neighbor pass
My
away.
grandma's
Plastic
64.
bags pulled out of the sugar, flour canisters, there was money folded
Yeah.
up down under.
In the closet, in the pants pockets and stuff, there's
Yep.
wild
And the
money.
coffee can.
Yeah.
Because
And my mother had to take $10,000 to the bank and turn it in, and the lady says, oh my gosh, where did you get this money? And she goes, you know, mom told her, and she said, oh, it was smelled musty, so smelly. Because it had been there for years, right?
Yeah, oh no, so you said.
Downstairs and,
But
or
the-
under, in the crawl space.
The older people, you know.
It was in the
They'll
closet.
file their SARS report on that, for sure.
That's how they did, they didn't believe in banks, they got burned, you know.
Yeah.
Burned once, you know, shame on them, burned twice, shame on me, you know,
That's
it's just, that's, you gotta learn, so.
So if anybody's gonna buy the mall, Macy's is ready to come tumbling down, and it will take another 2 days. They're inside there with that Bobcat, just pushing everything out.
Yeah, I talked to them last, what day did we talk, Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, I talked to them on Thursday, and they said by Wednesday or Thursday this week. they
Yeah,
should be down.
actually, when I left work, I pulled on one side by the Summit, Kia, the dealer, and you can see straight through there, so it looks like it's ready to come right down.
They were working yesterday.
Yes.
I saw
Yeah,
them.
well, yeah, they were cleaning up, basically, piling stuff.
How's that road? Is the road drivable? That
Which
goes
one?
through it, you know, the one that.
Summer Drive?
Summit
Yeah,
Drive,
they
right?
got they're patched.
Yeah,
It's like any other road.
Yeah,
No, no,
it's just like any other neighborhood road.
I was
But
tempted to
that's
go
a
through it
private
the other
road,
day,
so it's
just to
not a county
peek, but
road.
it was in my nicer car, so I chose not to.
No, that's coming down, and it's, like, I'm just amazed how fast that they are working.
How come they must be using the old Dunkin' Donuts as an office?
Used to be.
That is their field
Yeah,
office,
in the
Shell,
basement.
demo contractors
Oh,
field
they-
office.
That's gonna be the very last thing to come down.
I
I'd be
remember because
surprised
they
if
owned
tore it
that,
down,
didn't they?
not
I do
leaving it
remember
out.
that story.
It's done.
Friday
That was the
night,
Hudson's
When's
Way.
AT&T?
went by there.
There's never not split done.
Oh, was it?
No.
Oh,
When
that's
does
good.
ATE want to start working, site work for their project?
Beginning of the middle of July, they want to start their underground infrastructure. Last I heard, they were real close to an agreement with Cadre. They're gonna put evergreen trees across the west side of their project. It'd be deciduous around everything else,
Right.
but evergreen trees across there, and
It's gonna be
then
really nice.
move one of the curb cuts
That's
to
awesome.
private roads. You can move the curb cut anywhere you want to. There's no way you, with that, where their parcel's gonna be, are they going to encroach, you know, where they're.
So they moved the curb cut so he could park cars in that lot over there?
I'm not sure.
Make
I-
Carter
Everett
really,
Lung,
make Carter really mad, put a traffic circle there.
Yeah, roundabout.
you can't do it private road. It's a part of his road.
They could,
I
they
understand
could
that
build a
they-
practice roundabout right in the middle of his parcel.
Practice round.
So you think you could things
I heard
perfect.
Friday that they had an agreement.
Well, it's not closed out yet, so
So it
it's,
hasn't been
yeah.
closed, okay.
Yeah, but the last time they were talking, I talked to the contact person at DP, and they were very close. And it was kind of looking like he wanted a couple things, and maybe his attorney fees paid or something, I don't know. Initially, I thought he might be leveraged to get them to buy the 10 acres on the
That's what I
corner.
thought it was all
You know,
about.
I don't know, it's hard to figure out sometimes. But,
That 10 acres isn't, that's his property.
10 acres
Yeah,
of
that's the one
property is
that
where they were gonna build a wall.
Longhammer's leasing on, yeah,
right there, yeah.
that's right.
And that's, I remember when I was talking, I says, okay, so you're talking about DTE and outside storage. What do you call that on your 10 acres over there?
You know, both ways?
That's what I was,
A pound.
We're all-
Oh, yeah,
we're all
yeah, 10 acres,
outside
yeah.
Outside
Storage.
storage, that's what I'm saying.
that
That's-
was my whole
It's the
thing.
epitome
He's
of outside
arguing what
storage.
he's doing illegally.
And well, look at
Exactly.
the old Sam's Club too.
Yeah, Tommy T's.
And again, they said, and with last time we met, and I said, okay, they're gonna tear down the mall, they're gonna redevelop this, and you're gonna do what with your, well, but when they start redeveloping, well, my property in the corner will be worthless, it won't be worth anything. Because I've had many people wanna buy that, but I was afraid of what they would do to drive down the values of the property there. So he's telling me, so he hung on to it, And I said, okay, now they're gonna redevelop 74 acres of the mall, DTE's coming in there. I said, and you're gonna do what with Summit North and Summit West? Just out of curiosity.
It's not gonna do nothing.
No, it's not gonna do
It's
that.
gonna fall apart.
So again, so what's that, again, those dilapidated buildings, what does that do to the property value down there? I mean, it
Yeah, because
doesn't.
Oakland Hope just left too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
really?
all.
Well, they
Baldwin
didn't
and
get
Walton
along
are-
at all. Norman and him did not get
Yes,
along.
do
at
they
all.
gonna take all those commercial refrigerators that they put in there?
Yeah, they should,
They
cause it's
refrigerators.
theirs.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
those were
Cadre didn't put that in.
Yeah,
huge,
they're
expensive
sitting, they're not
units.
attached, they're sitting in the
Okay,
building, so
good.
they can take them. Now, the walls and stuff that were built and everything, they're attached,
Oh,
they
you
cannot
can't
come
do
up,
that.
so.
So what's going on with Summit Kia? I noticed consumers' cars are.
Consumers
Well,
gone.
It's up for lease right now.
They moved Cadre's,
That was just a
Sean
temporary
Rebar's got
thing.
it. I thought it was a 3-year deal though, but
I thought it was a little longer, they
Yeah.
were only there about 7, 8 months, 9 months.
they were a little longer than that
Was it
because
that
yeah,
long?
Tippa put the fence in there
Yeah, I remember we did that.
last fall. Like,
Last fall.
yeah,
So this is,
June, that's was 6
June,
months and 7 months, so they were in there before they put the fence up, so.
not that much longer, not
Yeah.
that much sooner though, I don't think.
Not even a yard.
Because they wanted that fence to keep the cars basically
Right.
safe.
Yeah.
Well, the vehicles,
I have it.
it's up for lease right now,
No,
so.
You like it?
no, I, sorry, internet wasn't working.
And California guys own that.
No, it's all right.
What's it?
Sean Rebar
Sean
still
Rebar, his
owns
group
it.
owns
SD
it.
Capital still owns that parcel of
I heard
property and
that
then,
ABC warehouse, they might be moving.
I heard that rumor too, but I don't know if it's true.
and then
or not.
an acre and a third to the east of that. An acre and a
Yes.
third to the east of that, Cadre owns that too.
If you're driving down Elizabeth Lake Road,
Going towards.
watch where the fence line is
Oh, yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That,
Right.
that's the acre
Right.
and third there, that Cadre got, or not Cadre, but Sean River
Sean Rebar got it.
got from Ari. But yeah, they're really moving, you know, all these people are worried about the rats running around. Well, I haven't seen 0 rats, and I've been looking for them.
Yeah, when we met with Oakland County Health Department,
Yeah.
and Brent Gibson, Rob Marinsky, myself, whenever we met with them, and it just, again, in going through history, and they shared information with us and stuff, and they showed us brochures and stuff, without a food source, they said rats are lazy, they do not travel great distances, they move to where the food is. The food runs out, they move to the food. And so they said, and I remember when we were in the mall there, in, 2009, the 10th or 9th and 10th of December of 2009, again, in the areas where the homeless people had been living in there and stuff, that's where we saw the rat feces, right close to where the people were. Other than that, you just didn't see it, but in those areas where people had been living in it, we didn't run into any people in there, but, there had been people living in there. That's where we saw the rat feces, and that makes sense,
Makes a
so.
lot of sense.
But,
Just amazes me they didn't find nobody in there passed away.
yeah,
I mean, I'm just really amazed that
It's
nobody,
just,
I'm serious,
Yeah.
I really thought they were gonna find somebody's body or
you
something.
got 1.4 million square feet right there, and again, like I said, all those crevices and places in there that just, where people could go, homeless people, they die all the time.
Sure.
And they die.
I mean, it's a good thing, I'm glad they did find nobody in there.
No,
but
it's phenomenal.
It just really shocks me
It
though.
was a miracle, actually, so.
I see those hawks, or whatever, those birds, those buzzards flying around the nation. Vultures.
Yeah.
Actually, county put up their helicopter one time
Yeah.
to take a peek at it. Just to see, because I said, my God, I see these big old birds up there flying around.
Yeah, McCabe dropped me off an aerial video of the demolition. It comes from the
Oh,
job,
did
it's
he?
about 40 minutes long, yeah, it's pretty neat. Those things it's just like, they never stop moving, the machines, they're just in unison.
Well, the cameras on the helicopters?
No, the machines down there
Oh,
doing the
yeah,
demolition.
it's like an opera.
Yeah, it's just like,
That's where it
all
is.
move, this does this, that does that, that does that, and they just keep moving, they never in each other's way, and it's just like, it's unbelievable. How synchronized those people are.
Are they still gonna get a crusher there for the concrete?
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be
What
really
about the
costly.
brick that came down?
I'm assuming they're gonna probably use some of the construction, Gary would probably know more about that than I would, but
What's that?
with this, all the concrete there, would they use that for new construction?
They'll crush
Mix
it, well, they'll crush it, typically they'll use that for road bases.
Okay,
I know there's a lot of houses they're building right now, they're building houses where they gotta dig out about 2 feet and dump crushed concrete in for a base, because it's been so muddy this spring. You dig a basement, it rains for 3 days, and now the
Right.
next 2 feet is pure mush, you know what I'm saying? It's no longer fresh dirt, it's mush, and so they're digging that out and then dumping it in a 2-foot base and going from there, you know?
so that'd be the last movement over there, I'm sure they're gonna move all the scrap metal, aluminum, and everything first.
Yeah.
And then the concrete. will be
That,
the
yeah, that's
very last
typically,
thing.
they'll leave that there, like I said, if the market moves a penny, 2 pennies, 3 pennies a pound or something,
They had a
they'll
couple
jump on that.
mountains of aluminum
Yeah.
Friday, so I got online, looked, like 243 a pound, I'm thinking, my God, there's
For
thousands.
aluminum?
Aluminum,
It's
240,
$2.43 a
it was
pound?
Friday, yeah.
Really? What's copper and
Was that
brass?
wrong?
I don't know, I have to go looking back
Oh,
up, that was
wow.
Friday about 4 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm looking, oh my God, there's a lot of money sitting there.
Things up.
Oh, the scrap steel, I can't remember what the price of it
Well,
was,
just,
2 pennies, it wasn't
just
that
a
much.
12 by 12 coping around the perimeter of that building. How many tens of thousands of lineal feet is there of that? And it's aluminum, you know? All the window frames, all the entry door frames, all that stuff. Now, your fire doors and your service doors and stuff were all steel. But all the entryways and stuff, that's all aluminum.
Those claws, you know, the big old generators that were on top of the
Yeah.
office, man, they just pick them up and fling them in the
The
air.
rope tops, yeah, just like they're throwing, like you're throwing your dog
Into
a
the
ball to
pile.
catch it.
Oh, it's just
Like
crazy.
you're- Boom. And right in the middle of a
Oh,
pile,
you
it
did
doesn't go off to
perfectly.
the side, it just. it's
I would have
perfect.
liked to see
I keep forgetting to get it down.
escalators, that would have been kind of.
This will be an interesting.
Well, they're probably doing that, we won't be able to see that from
I
outside.
don't know the right people.
Yeah.
They
They
don't
had
have the passage
escalator,
anymore.
above floor escalator,
Yeah.
Sears, and they have.
Escalator.
Usually you get
I'm
the-
wondering how they got that
Yeah,
bobcat
it's
there on
down
the second
there.
floor though. Would they use one of those claws to
Yeah,
push
right,
it?
lifted it up.
That's what I
yeah.
thought, I
Yeah,
mean-
lifted up there.
And one of my guys said, hey, probably up the escalator. I don't
And
think
just-
so, that'd be too
And
wide.
what, and what they do with the machine, just like you're reaching over and picking up one of our lifesavers and bringing it, it's just like they're reaching out with their hand. Those guys are,
They were plucking
I
out
see.
trees,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, these gigantic trees, just grab it, whip it right up, and the roots and everything. Holy smokes,
Right,
you're a
yeah.
powerful machine.
oh yeah, they're unbelievable. I said, we did some residential demolition stuff, which were pretty neat, but I mean, that's, you know, a lot smaller scale. But that there is just, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm hypnotized just watching. I was most of the day today, I just sat out there watching them doing their thing. I was slow, so I had a chance to sit out there just really.
Yeah, but we did that on Cooley Lake Road, that when we had the problem with the had reported the demolition on it.
Yeah.
We did that over there. We went by about an hour and 45 minutes, they had that building on the ground.
They have the office building. I mean, I left, we had lunch
Oh,
Thursday.
the office
So after I left you, I just drove the car when they closed up. Building was still there, the office. I came in Friday morning and it's gone.
Where's that?
That office building right across from the car wash, with the old dentist office.
Oh,
way
yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was standing at
Yeah.
4 o'clock or 3 o'clock every time I went by there. Friday morning, it was just down.
Yeah, like I said, it's amazing, like you said, that was that, like, I was looking at an old barn over there, and I mean, hour and 45 minutes, that thing was on the ground, by the end of the day, they had it loaded in the dumpsters, crushed down, and hauled out of there. They came in the next day, graded and seeded,
They
and it was
moved really
done.
fast.
You know, it's just, it's incredible.
So the McDonald's, the old McDonald's over there, Mr. Simon bought the place, and he's redoing, it's gonna be a gas station store type of speaker.
Oh, okay.
They're moving along pretty good on that. They got
That's
rid
a
of
gas
it.
station originally, isn't it?
You want a gas station, McDonald's and gas station,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I can't pronounce the gentleman's first name, but Mr. Simon, his last name's Simon, and he's very well known in the whole area, does very well for himself.
Yeah, you get out there in Iowa, on the interstates and stuff, and all those gas stations have McDonald's or
Right.
Burger King or
Attached to
Taco
them.
John's, they all have, they all have that.
Well, they try
Taco Bell,
to get you in there, they want you to come buy some food, gas,
Right.
and snacks at the
grab a
one-stop
couple
shop.
tacos or burrito, fill up the tank and go.
Speaking of telegram, how about those crosswalks down
I
there?
think that was a waste of money, but.
I
Well,
know,
they-
I was
Use them.
thinking that.
They brought that to us 3 years ago. We had a meeting in MDOT on that. 3 years ago, we had that meeting
It
over
seems that
there.
they're
They're
doing
still
better
gonna
things with their
jaywalk,
money
they're not
than
gonna,
do
they're
that.
gonna go wherever they want.
I think it was a waste of money, but. you know
Who made that
what I'm
Yeah,
decision?
but
That's
they-
MDOT.
That's
But,
MDOT,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
MDOT,
highway.
right, but, you know, we met over there, us and the road commission, and we talked about it, doing this and doing that, and they had, how many people have been hit? There were like 2 or 3
Oh,
people
God,
have been hit.
I think 2 or 3 this year.
Yeah, well,
So
at that
that's why
time.
they're doing it?
Well, yeah, they're both trying to create a safer place for people to cross.
cross,
But then
okay.
people, I don't want them coming, I don't want a crosswalk dumping out in front of my business, so they're trying to move it back and forth, but you get cooperation on both sides. So it was like a 3-ring circus.
Well, the problem was from the apartment to the mobile station, people running across the street there.
That
And
is
that's
smoke
where
shop.
they get hit. The smoke shop's not there anymore.
Oh, is it?
No, that's up on Voorhees. They go to the gas station and get their cigarettes. I think it's a waste of money, my gosh.
Yeah, I heard the palace is coming down.
That's what I heard. I heard it's been sold.
Long time,
I
I
just-
thought Oakland University.
Residential, I
heard,
heard we might be going in there.
Also heard last
There's a
Friday,
residential
Waterford
development.
Village is coming down, Waterford Village School, they're taking that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard that too. It closed up and I went back
Waterford
in.
Village, yeah. I mean, of the 4 schools they closed, of course, that was the oldest. I think Village opened in 1928.
28 or 5, I think it said.
25?
I think
Okay.
I could be wrong, you might be right. on that.
Drayton Plains opened in 26.
It's
I remember
20,
that. But
like mid
Village
20s,
might have
late
been a year
20s.
ahead of it, but anyways, that school, I mean, my grandson Zach was there and like kindergarten, had started. I go to pick him up and the hallways were lined with bucket, or excuse me, big plastic garbage cans for drip. First floor and second floor, you know, leaked through the roof, second floor down to the first floor. So that building was in the worst shape, and they tore the other 3 down. They tore down Burt, Adams, and Sandberg. They tore all 3 of them down.
Do you know,
When they closed the 4, they were here about 3 or 4 years ago.
their methodology was that Snyder had put through 2 years ago that school districts were required to sell the property to charter schools if they came in and made them an offer.
Right,
That's why they
that's
tore
why
it down.
they limited the
Yeah.
buildings. And then they had, what's the thing to the state too on the planet, what's that called? They had that over there at the, for job search.
Oh, Michigan Works.
Michigan Works, they had Michigan Works over there.
Yeah.
That used to be over on Pontiac Lake Road at the old Delalute School.
Yeah,
And then when they closed that, they moved it over
yeah,
there.
okay. Down by Fawn or all those streets over there,
Yeah.
by the funeral home.
They were a prairie for a while.
Michigan
There
Works,
was?
yes.
Oh.
They ended up over there, and they're doing away with it. And I think, 1st of June, Michigan Works was done here on Waterford. There's just not enough, high enough unemployment rate. They just, you know,
To justify it, you know.
justify, you
Right
know.
there, they're down and sell it to a developer, it'd be a nice little neighborhood to build.
Perfect, it's right,
Beautiful
yeah.
neighborhood.
That's nice homes.
Little higher end homes
Yep.
over there.
Yep, develop that, and it's gonna go out the back.
We got
the
it, we
rolls
got
all
it.
flow on the one
I think on
side.
our agenda tonight for Jim Merritt's project over in Lotus there, and I think some people are gonna be at the meeting. They're not happy about it, but
Oh,
if
well,
anybody knows what Jim Merritt does, he does an outstanding job, so,
Yep.
you know, and it's gonna improve that whole neighborhood, but, you know, people don't like change.
Limbs on
But
West.
they wanna keep the open space there, well, you know what, the property was sold. And the only thing's on our agenda tonight is just rezoning it, that's it, which, you know, that's what we tried to explain in the planning commission, but people just didn't
just
wanna
like
hear
the
that.
Dundee property, yeah.
Yeah, years ago, he
Yeah.
was building with Rick Bundy, we used to do his framing back in the 70s, and then I did some framing for him in the early 90s too. Builds a nice
Oh,
product.
he builds a beautiful
Really
piece of-
nice
yeah.
product. He's done a lot of developments in Waterford,
You know, Windsong, I mean, he wants his buildings, built, you know, condos that he builds, homes, to be shining stars. I mean, he does a really great
He
job.
does.
But these
And he's-
down to 800 square feet though, possibly?
No,
per
no,
unit?
that is not 800, they're gonna
That's
be
what the
minimum 12.
rezoning is, that's
Yeah,
what the
no,
rezoning
that's,
is
it's
for.
all changed.
It's all changed.
Yeah, it's gonna be 1,200.
1100, minimum.
I think the
1100.
minimum is 1,100,
Yeah.
not no 800.
That's what I thought the.
It did say,
He
Kim,
want-
you are right, it
he
did say
wanted
something, I
30
can't get the internet
He
right
went
now.
like
I'll pull it up.
32, I'm sorry,
34.
It says
He-
800.
settled for 34. I think you're shooting for 36 in there.
That explains what the different zoning classifications are.
Where was this, Tony?
Like over on Pontiac Lake, where they just built those 5 new houses over there, I took you by over there.
What's that?
That's our R1C, I think.
R1A, request from,
I think that's R1C, which is
request from
800 square feet.
R1A to R1C.
That's where that came
To
from.
R1C.
If R1A is at an 800 square foot,
R1C is.
or R1, that's where that was, that's what that was referring to.
Right.
That's where the
It
800.
used to be years ago that they had it where it was a
So
range,
he's gonna
one
plan for
story,
100.
bi-level,
That's gonna
tri-level,
be the minimum.
two-story, there were
That's gonna be
minimums
the
in the
minimum
ordinance.
size.
And it was first floor was
So
the
why do we need to
minimum
rezone?
of
And what the
That's
difference was in the zoning there,
Mhm.
the first zoning, and I don't have the number,
So why do
I'm
we
looking for it right now,
Why do we?
is that it wouldn't have an association. You build the condos and they can just do whatever they want. This, with the 34 that he's proposing, there's gonna be an association, so, you know, it's gonna,
Probably
the
works
property is
better.
gonna be upkeep, you know, the snow is gonna be removed, the grass is gonna be cut, bushes are gonna be trimmed, and stuff, but it's
It'll
association.
be maintained.
It's gonna be very well
And they're
maintained.
putting in that one area where you go down to the, where dog legs
Just
off.
put a
and
big
look
cart
back.
back in there like a.
Like a detention area at the front of it, and have a park with walk trails and stuff in it right there, so,
See, there's their green space.
right.
Yeah.
you know.
28,
You want
Tony.
garages?
But the
Yes.
far end of that's a wetland down there.
Right.
Even though it's tempered, it just kind of goes. They're gonna take some trees out and build a detention pond in there, and all the stormwater will drain that way.
And some are gonna be ranches, some are gonna be two-story, just depends what you want, you know? He'll build 1, 2, 3 models and then, you know, he'll go from there.
I think he's probably gonna pretty much go ranches in there, I do.
Well, like you said, it's an older clientele, you know, they're looking for
All the
ranches.
clientele don't like stairs.
Right, and that's where it typically goes, you know, the market goes that way. Have you seen Steve Proctor's property over at the airport?
I haven't been there since last fall.
Beautiful
Yeah.
job, I'll tell you,
Oh, it
he's doing
looks
a
gorgeous.
gorgeous job back in there. You guys seen it? It's off of,
Airport and,
it's, the street's called Aspen. If you go, you know where Patricia's live?
yeah,
There's a church right next door if you're going north.
okay.
And right at the church, is a little street there called Aspen Drive,
Oh.
Aspen Drive or Court.
Uh-huh.
You turn right, you go all the way back and just dead ends back in there.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. He's doing a really nice project back there. But it's been
It goes
taking
around, comes
forever.
back down, goes out, and then it was,
Oh, I
there was
see.
originally was lined up, tie-in with the subdivision over there where the old gravel pit was, but, you know, on Hatchery, but it just, it's a barricaded crossing. I don't think they're gonna open that up. because
They're
it's
supposed to open
private-
that up though.
But it's a private road, that's their.
I think the fire department had an issue with that for wanting to cut back in there in case there was a fire in that neighborhood. We had a big thing about the sidewalks there. Steve's still mad at me because I voted against him on that.
Well, again, they had the, you know, the lift station there, you know, you say.
Well, he wanted to move the lift station from one end to the other.
Well, they said the area they had designated for it, okay, just put some deciduous trees around it, or put some evergreens around it,
Yeah,
and
there was some real.
that'll hide it, because you came in, but that's where it was originally proposed back in 2004 or 2004.
2 or something like that.
2002.
It was way back when.
Yeah, when he
They
was
sat on it
originally
for
developed
years.
that, and
So
then
this
got
is
back,
his
and now
plan,
it's changed.
right? Yeah. This is his plan.
That's Merritt's plan, yeah.
Yeah, for the
There's your
project.
detention pond right there.
Right there, yeah. So, I don't know what the square feet, I'm not sure why you're
Here's the district,
only
you see that?
800 square feet. If they're all going to be 1,100 or so.
Well, you'll be there tonight asking.
Yeah, they're 1,100, I'm telling you, minimum 1,100 on them.
Yeah, I thought the approved rezoning was R1A, is what I thought it was. That's what I thought it was.
It's going from R1A to R1C. That's what he's requesting.
And what was, when we had that whole issue with Denby and we did the research into public lands or green space for square, not square, but mileage of Waterford, what was the ratio?
What's that?
Remember, we had to have so money, the state has a guideline of so much park space
Yeah.
per
Yeah.
geographic. What was
100 acres for every 1,000 no, 10 acres for every 1,000 residents. Yeah, 10 acres per 1,000 residents.
And we had, well,
850 acres of park, 75,000 people, 750 acres, we were way in excess of it, so.
He wants to rezone it from R1A to
Yeah, 10.
R1C.
So what were we? We were
It's
850.
850
acres.
acres of township-owned parks.
Okay.
And then there's state parks, there's county,
1.3,
there's state
okay.
boat launches, Oakland County Water Park.
Right,
Oh, I got
okay.
I think
8.76,
there's
which
in
includes the
excess
wetlands.
with Pontiac Lake Recreation Area,
Yes,
with
but then if you
It's
go
like-
down, yeah, excluding the,
12 or 1,300 acres of
Yeah,
parkland
so, yeah.
you
township.
got the same thing.
I think that was the final, when you go state parks, county parks and township parks, we had 850 acres.
See, I don't think they put my
And it was,
minutes
yeah,
in.
10 acres per 1,000 residents was the ratio.
Okay.
Yeah, they got the minutes in there right now.
Quite a landscape.
Yeah, it is, really. You wanna see the minutes from the planning commission?
I think I got that,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, but those 5 houses I took the about on Pontiac Lake are just up in the county market there. That's R1C there too. And those are 24, 34, 816 square feet, so.
Those look like they're gonna be built for rentals.
No, they're being sold.
They are gonna be sold?
So
Good.
he's built, well, he built one over there in that lot on Voorhees, where we demolished the house, he built that
So
one there too.
Independence Township.
Okay,
Same over.
yeah, I went by them, my God, they have very small, no garages or anything, that's what made me think it was gonna be a rental.
24, 34, just, you gotta be a minimum of 800 square feet under R1C. Those are, like you said, 24, 34, 816, and that's
Oh,
816.
is it 2-bedroom homes?
Yep. 2-bedroom, living, ground floor, laundry, 1 bath.
No basement.
Nope, olive slabs.
House slabs, no garage.
So Independence Township is possibly having that development go in on a man in Clintonville? So
250 homes.
rentals or, what did they say, empty nesters?
Well, that's what they're doing, that's what they're doing at
That's what they
Dixie and
said.
75 right now.
Right, that's what they're doing.
And the
at
same
Dixie.
thing out in
Like,
Highland Township.
Yeah, Highland,
Highland Township.
yeah.
The Dixon 75, those are rentals.
Those are
Or like
rentals.
They're very
15.
high rent.
Start at
Yes.
1,900 a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if that's the new trend or what it is.
Well,
but it's-
sometimes you just don't want to, be bothered, right, with maintenance, and it's all taken care of for you.
There was a guy in Donna's Mill Road on Walton Boulevard across Mason, that end, that one ranch,
Mhm.
he'd lived there like 38 years in the end unit there. He'd lived for 38 years.
Really?
Just rented for, yeah. People do that
Probably
these
nobody
days,
to
it's
leave it
amazing.
to, nothing to give it to,
Because of
so
your property taxes
why
going up.
invest in a bunch of
sometimes
stuff
they
that the
pop-
courts take it anyways?
Right.
And they might be, maybe they go.
Or
It was
leave it.
small little,
Or leave
I
it
like
alone.
it, was it? A little studio apartment?
Yeah, the little one bedroom. Yeah, New York City, that'd bring you about down in Manhattan, that'd bring you about probably about $4,000 a month, yeah. Yeah, my cousin's father-in-law lived on the, I don't know, 17th floor, and he was $3,800 a month. And his son Mike said it was like a 1-bedroom efficiency, so he said to me,
Wow.
he said, so he said, job you got there, he said, what does that pay? I told him, he said, you wouldn't last in New York City very long in that.
Unbelievable.
Hong Kong was, yeah.
Oh, the same
Wow.
seats at Yankee Stadium, from the third base to first base, lower deck, first 12 rows, $350 a piece, and it was none of them empty.
Wow.
Same seats in the upper deck were $250 a piece.
Mm. I'm glad I went a long time ago.
I used to go down to Tiger Stadium.
This was a New Year's.
Double
I
headers,
went
I
to
go
the-
put the bleacher seats for $2.
Yeah,
Take the bus
we're
from
talking about
Pontiac
it's called
down-
Briggs,
take the
Briggs
bus
Stadium,
down-
Steve.
Down to Michigan Avenue,
When
walk
was-
over.
when was
$2.
this?
Double
Yeah.
header.
He's not telling us, he's telling us his age now.
I can remember when we first started going on the, well, it's Briggs Stadium the first year I went, 1959. When did it become Tiger Stadium, 61?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fetcher bought it in 60, and
Right.
changed it, I said, so 59, 60, I remember the bleacher seats were 50 cents back then.
Hey, they're coming down,
The
bleacher
ble-
seats are
the
coming
bleacher
down, and they're
creatures
like
were 50
16
cents
bucks.
a piece.
Not, not.
Those
wow.
bleed,
Yeah.
No wonder why.
And then
I
how
know, and
much-
then they're giving you things too, for free.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
coming.
you get a beer and a hot dog or
I
something?
had to get a little duffel bag, you'll get a
Oh.
koozie.
Now you're talking about
Well, the reason why.
Tiger Stadium, the prices are going down.
Comerica Park, yeah, they got the
Yeah.
pregame stuff now.
Yeah.
You can get a beer sheet, you get a pop sheet.
And the
you can
bleachers
get-
are like $16.
You get the nacho thing for like $5, or
Yeah.
you get a hot dog and a pop for
So
$5.
I'm saying prices are coming back down.
Yeah.
because they're begging people to come.
Well, sure, their attendance is really, really down. It's too bad.
Well, they're not doing that well
Well,
either.
that's-
that's
part of
I mean, that's probably one of the
Yeah,
reasons
but
too.
you look at the Yankees, they had 6 starters on the stable list at one time. They were a glorified AAA team who's in first place by 4.5 games, the Yankees. Judge is just now back, John Carlos Stanton's only been back a week. And I mean, they kept winning. They sent a guy back down to the minors as a higher batting average, more home runs and more RBIs than anybody on the Tigers. They shipped me back, they shipped like 287, but, 17 home runs and 47 RBIs, and they shipped me back to the minors. They did an interview with that manager in baseball, he goes, well, next time I'll have to play better.
Does anybody have any other questions, concerns?
Yeah, my list is exhausted,
Yeah,
it's exhausted.
everything seems to be moving pretty good.
Yep.
I'm very excited about the mall.
Has
I'm really
Sorry
excited.
gotten any hits on any potential?
I have not, he wants to get together to meet, so I think he's got something to tell me, but I
You could bet Ari did not buy that property without having somebody in the wind.
I agree.
You just bet on that. He won't tell nobody, he'll tell Gary when the time is right, but,
Oh, the right people know.
right, we really don't need to know till. But
They can't
Ari's
ask for
not
credit.
gonna buy that property, demo it, and
Yes.
say,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm open for business.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the reason why you bought the Sears property, got DT in it, that's the seed to get people to move into the rest of the
Because he
city.
made $1.5 million.
I like the fact that he paid for
Why
it.
did
He didn't take the credit offer, he paid for it.
Well, again, like I said, it was what did Sean call that? It was owner finance, that's what he called it, owner finance. This is our, is he serious? He said, no, when owner finance, I mean cash. Because see, as long as it's owner finance, the title doesn't change for ownership, and the demolition order has still been rejected by the Oakland County Circuit Court, so they couldn't demolish it. We had a court order demolition, and he appealed to the Oakland County Circuit Court, and they upheld his appeal, or denied our demolition order, upheld his appeal. So, but it had to change ownership. He bought it in October, and May he started tearing it down, 7-month turnaround.
You don't
It
get
should
any more
be.
complaints from Waterford residents, do you?
Well, they said there was some people stirred up about rats, so we sent the meeting with Oakland County.
Rats and dust and stuff, but they got that. pretty
Well,
much.
it was a good spring to have rain, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Those water jets, they didn't have to run them a lot.
Right.
Yep.
So changing subjects a little bit, do you know if we have a waymaster
Yes.
anywhere? We do?
Yep,
Oakland
police
County Road
department does.
Commission, Road Commission. Oakland
Our
County.
police
Our
department?
policeman does.
They have 2 people certified.
Can they pull people over then, do they?
No, they don't have the manpower to do it. That was one of the reasons when we got the SAD, which got appealed. You know what I'm saying? And that's in appeals court now, but,
They have all 2 officers that train, but they
We
don't
have
have
2
the
officers
equipment
that have
and vehicles to
certification.
do it yet. So they're
yeah, we
not-
still need the equipment.
Yeah, we still have the
We have the
equipment,
Okay,
and
we
they
have
have,
some.
and they're
older-
trained, Jeff James had them trained, and then
Yeah.
Underwood said we're not doing it.
Yeah, as soon as Dan left, Jeff sent 2 of them training. Because remember the one,
That's
her
right, that's right.
husband, the one that got killed, was it Auburn Hills
No,
or Rochester
no, it was
Hills?
Moonfield, that was, not in that, she retired,
Right,
Nikki,
Yeah,
can't think of her last name.
she was the last one we had.
Her husband worked over at, Moonfield, was killed on
He
I-75.
pulled over a drunk driver and got hit by another drunk driver and killed, so.
So we don't have the equipment? Or
We do have the
have the
equipment.
equipment.
We do?
We just want the
We have
personnel.
the equipment and we
want
have
the
2
vehicles.
people trained for it, we just don't get. Typically, when our guys come on call, they come on, do either 2 or 3 calls now. Just as, so they got it,
Sure, I've been seeing a lot of double axles going on boys.
Well, that's supposed to be good help for you, it's just,
Yeah.
the weight limit down there.
Anybody hear about any more, we got the bid out,
Yeah.
Yep.
so,
Any responses?
not that I'm aware of yet, it just went out Friday or Monday.
Was it published in the Oakland Press?
It's on Mint.
It's-
Oh,
They can go
yeah.
see it, it's on our website also, anybody can go see it. So,
I saw
When's the
the,
deadline?
saw
When's the
the
deadline?
advertisement for bid.
22nd, I believe.
Of July.
Yes.
Okay.
What's
It's
that?
done.
Advertising for bid at Kettering High School for asbestos removal.
I think,
Yeah, saw that. I didn't know Kettering had it.
oh, yeah. Oh, in 1962. fall of 61, actually, first graduated class 62, so they probably started building in 59. You know,
Anybody have any concerns about the massage parlor issue that's coming up tonight?
I don't think we should be waiving no fees.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
I
yeah.
good.
mean, just my opinion, I don't think
That's
we.
good.
I
I
mean,
do.
if we do, this can be negotiable, but now we're opening up another hornet's nest for
Well,
everybody
I
else to come on.
checked, we
including-
already had a check received on May 19th from an individual that wants to open a massage establishment, and he's already paid his $500. So you can't be treating people
I
different.
agree, I just, and I feel the lady says she's not making no money, you know, one
Right.
company makes a few dollars, but then,
She
you
should
know,
be
and I don't
able
wanna see another empty storefront either,
to-
but,
Right,
you know, what are we gonna do? Now, the next guy's gonna come in and plead his case, I'm not making no money, you know,
it
just,
is what it is, and so we've already set a precedence by accepting this gentleman's check, and
I agree, I think, you know what, we have an
we're gonna
ordinance,
give
this,
him a refund.
this should be
You have
entitled
to
to it.
treat everybody the same.
I agree.
Right, there's one set of rules, are good. But again, if you're setting up a business, especially in this day and age, $500 is.
You
I
hope that's
know.
not the break, if
Right.
that's
That's
the
not
determining
the
factor,
break.
there's,
We're not gonna be
there's other
able to anyway,
issues.
so.
Yeah, you should not
Right.
be doing any
It's
business.
not a lot of money.
And I hate being mean to, you know, a business
Oh,
person here, but,
absolutely, we
but
don't.
you know what, you have to take a stand sometimes, and I just don't, I think we need to stick to our guns.
And
Pontiac
that's-
is 500.
And that's one of the reasons we came up with these rights, because of the illegal massage parlors, we had the amount of time we had to spend.
Mhm.
You know, we would have Oakland County and other departments, you know, you'd have the NAT teams and stuff, you get together, you know, and special operations units
And they had
stuff.
no problem putting up the
And
$500.
if you would raid these places, so most of them had put up, they weren't even legitimate
No,
places.
No, they were
Well,
not.
yeah.
And it's like, I remember when they did the old Everybody's Cafe over there on Airport
Oh,
Road,
yes.
the old Dope Smokers
Yeah.
Cafe. When they did that over there, the plumbing inspector goes over to inspect it.
They were
There's
all
like an
smoking.
8-person shower in the building. You know, and you get rain heads and shower heads,
Really?
and you fit 8 people, and Russ goes, oh, time out, you show a 3x3 or 3x4 ceramic shower. You know, well, we decided to expand a little bit, yep, but this is a commercial building. Your drawings have to match, or your site
Oh, we're watching
inspection
our
has to
pictures in
match.
the shop.
Well, yeah, then again, but again, that was gonna be physical therapy over there. No, it isn't, no.
Physical therapy.
Well, the contractors come in dirty, they don't want to sit, have people sitting down dirty at the table.
No, they gotta
Wash
get
up
everything
before they
done
eat,
fast.
yeah.
Just
We
unbelievable.
got a good deal on 8 shower heads versus 1.
Yeah.
You know, guys,
8 for 1 price, yeah.
I don't know who we would talk to, our senators, state representatives about this, but you know, we got government entities, I'll point at the school district, been sitting on properties for years and years and years. We're not getting no tax revenue. Is there something that they can do to change this? If Waterford buys that property over there, we got 2, 3 years, 5 years to do something and not coming on the tax roll.
No,
Because you get what I'm trying to
What
say?
property?
Well, I'm just
School
saying,
property.
school property, all
Any
government
property that tax exempt entities own.
The schools have been
Schools,
selling.
churches.
No, they had, the one on Boyd,
Sandberg,
on
they
M59's
sold.
been
They
empty
sold
forever.
some. Yeah.
Donaldson?
But in 1959, they bought 81.32 acres on Hospital Road to build Mott, Mason, and Manley. That was gonna be a 3-school site over there.
So they still own that?
Yeah, they still
They're
own
sitting
it.
on 80 acres.
What
off
year is that?
Hospital Road.
1959.
59.
59,
I
now
guess
popped into
The
tax.
question is, what are we
You know,
talking
they
about
built,
getting something
first one they
changed?
built was Mason,
You know,
remember that?
they're already
You know-
grandfathered in, I understand that, but for
And they
the
built
They're,
Manley.
future.
Their,
They built, or no, they built
board
Manley
meetings,
Mason.
as you know, are quite contentious, but they're all crying that there's no money, there isn't any money.
You got 80 acres, we
I
have to
know,
buy it
that's
for that
what-
one
that's
Hospital
what I'm-
Road.
that's what
And
I'm
Rob's-
saying.
Rob Patricia basically said, listen, we've had it for 50 years, except for another 50 years.
So
We don't
then,
agree
well
with
then
it.
at that point, then you say, then the district is
Well,
sitting
it's for
perfect
sale,
financially.
it's for sale for some ungodly amount, and nobody's gonna buy it.
Like the property
Developers
down,
walked away from it.
4.96 acres down on Huron Street.
That's the old Donaldson.
By Voorhees, the old Donaldson.
$1 million.
Right.
That would be
They're
a
all
good place for the
they're
veteran
cutting
housing,
corners
would
'cause
have
they
no
have no
money.
money, well, this doesn't make any sense.
But I guess the point being, you know, we need to talk to somebody and get this thing stopped, you know. All these other problems they own now, we couldn't do nothing about it, but in the future.
Is their budget in the red?
The school district?
It's what they're getting per student. that's
If they're
turning.
crying poor, then why don't they get off the dime and get rid of some of this property?
Well, that's
They
what
are.
I'm saying.
They've
So
already
you're,
started.
Tony's saying, what can we do?
Exactly.
I'm saying start by one of the board meetings and
Tip the
saying,
iceberg.
when they start complaining about money in
Oh,
the
I already
budget.
did, I already did that. You know, Jonah, they were interested in that, doing a really, $400,000 home development over there.
I think they did.
Jonas.
I think they took down the old Lotus Lake
Yeah.
property.
Hospital Road is
I think they took
80
that down mid-90s. And then Jim Merritt just bought that property,
Jim Merrill was the perfect one, but the price is too damn high.
Wow.
you know? But again, and then they've got 17 acres over on Hospital Road, in which I think 8 or 9 of it's wetland, you know,
Oh, wow.
but still it's developable, you can still develop the rest of
We
it.
have a new school board too, so, you know, I think they may be more apt to sell than the previous school board.
When we had
Because they
that,
weren't budging on it, I mean, the price was crazy.
when they had that town hall meeting, the schools had the town hall meeting there several years ago, they were talking about, you know, they're gonna have to close 4 schools.
Right.
So they were gonna close Sanford, Burt, Adams, and Waterford Village. We're gonna have to close these schools there, and it's up, and so I just got my decision, I said, just, in a simplistic way, let's just look at this. I said, okay, now you're gonna close, you know, I probably should start out differently, I talked about it originally about, you know, you just put secured entry systems into all 4 of the schools, you're gonna close them the next year, so I didn't think that was a real good way to manage the money, but, you know, we all make mistakes, nobody's perfect. So but at the same time, I says, you take this property that you have right there and you sell it, it immediately goes onto the tax rolls, it's no longer exempt. You sell it, it goes into the tax rolls, okay? School taxes, township tax, okay? So then, somebody comes
They get
along
more
and
than we
buys it,
do.
and they start development, property value goes up, more school tax. Now, I understand if you don't have students, you're not getting that money, but people move into these houses with school-aged children, bingo.
Sure.
Win, 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 win. It's win across the board. You know what the president of the school board told me? We don't need anybody to tell us what our assets are, we know what they are. He says, okay, good, but it just, you know, and then 2 of the board members come afterwards and said, no, we're gonna sit on that property, we're gonna wait till we get full value out of it. Plus, it's only one-time revenue. So did you listen to what I just said? There's one-time revenue for the sale, and then for every student that moves into one of them houses, you get like $8,500 a year for that. Plus, we get property taxes off the property.
And they don't.
And it just, it goes on and on and on and on and on. It just does. And I'm not saying you gotta take every square inch of property you have in your municipality and develop them. But these are large sites, and most of them in the middle of neighborhoods. That's, you know, they were
Right.
neighborhood schools.
Yeah.
What are you gonna move in there? What are you gonna put, a Home Depot in the middle of a neighborhood, you know, or a Sam's Club or something? No, you're gonna put residential in with residential. Oh, well, like Dundee Park over there, when we sold that, one guy ended up buying it. And after all the rip that was going on there, the Townsend Homes, who is now developing the Burt property over there on South Winding, backed out of the deal, so, you know, they've got that, and the guy, one guy's got it, but we're collecting property tax on it. No, it's no longer public lands. It's a taxable entity, and that's what you need to get rid of that stuff, you do.
We need to get rid of stuff that we are not using, we're sitting on, just like we did the Hatchery.
Yeah.
Hatchery Road, I mean, it's great, I'm glad that somebody come in there, they're gonna develop it.
And they gotta get that rezoned, of course, it's public lands right now, but they get it, you know, R1A, which is what it was prior to the township buying that back in 2004, 2005, and then they bought it.
You know, it's probably not a bad idea, the thought to put the community center back in there, but they
Not-
didn't do their homework. you
not
know,
with the
look at-
27
no,
foot
no,
elevation
Well, that's what I
change
said, they didn't
in
ever
Iowa.
look at the grade.
See, we're gonna bring a community center where primarily all the people coming in to be senior citizens.
They're all gonna have to latch in before they walk
We're gonna
outside.
have videos to watch these teenagers coming up out of here on slippery
Ski
hills.
lifts on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Going in circles.
If there's ski lift,
You're not telling them you can't leave.
Big, going to movie production, movie production, big money.
Zip line.
Yeah, America's Funniest Videos, let's go. Hey, 10, well, 100 from the annual one's 100,000, 10 grand at a pop. you know.
Well,
I only got one more thing I
Raise
want,
money.
did you guys ever watch that program, Lake Living? It was on channel 190, I got Comcast 198 last night. It's about Lake Living, you know, the people wanna buy homes.
yeah.
Waterford was featured in that.
Was it?
really?
Yes.
Was it really?
The lady's name is Stacy Taylor,
Lake
the
Geneva?
realtor. They, Lake Geneva, there was one Pontiac Lake, and they ended up buying, I think in West Bloomfield off the hill, or right off of the lake there. But yeah, it was pretty cool seeing Lake Geneva. And they showed a little map, you know, Pontiac Lake and Lake
I heard that
Geneva.
from my ski buddies.
Yeah, it was on yesterday, last
At
night.
what time?
You know, I think it was on about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock last
Sunday
night.
night.
It's the home.
HGTV.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, was it
Yeah.
HGTV?
It was
Okay.
pretty cool, you know, I flipped the channel and he says, yeah, 1 hour from Detroit. Oh, cool. You know, they went to my house in the lake, I'm thinking.
What were they walking?
The
We're driving around here.
Really?
house on Lake Geneva was
Depends on what time of day it
$387,000.
is.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I guess bumper to bumper might be an hour, yeah.
It was a very nice house, though. But anyways, I thought it was pretty cool that Waterford was on big TV.
Anybody else have anything? Nothing?
You ever do anything about the chickens?
Chicken.
And then wasn't there a letter about somebody who wanted chickens? or something?
Yes.
We'll see that case by case.
Is that when you told them to go to KFC?
I didn't say anything.
I mean, how hungry
I
are
did,
you?
What about
I
the
did
deer?
get hungry.
The deer problem. Did anybody see that?
Oh, I did
That's
see the
Margie, I
deer
hear it
problem.
every month from Margie, she don't even plant her vegetable garden no more, cause they eat it.
Over at
I said,
SCI.
Margie, I told her last year, put the screen around the darn stuff.
I got
The deer ain't gonna eat it.
quartered up bars of Irish Spring soap around my bed that day.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got stuff taller than me growing up.
And I
that
feel
day.
bad for Margie.
Does your stuff have a minty taste to it? Seriously, does it?
Is it easy to blow bubbles?
It has a human scent that keeps them away.
Is it very clean?
Since I've been out, they haven't touched my vegetable garden. So
Well,
I mean, they came in and stood over the edge, they walked down to them, ate my beans, ate my peas. And you can stop believing
Yeah,
it,
they're
how to
minty,
harvest.
right?
There is.
Manly or something? What was it?
Somebody's trying to
What
get
was
the
the commercial about
information.
Irish
Somebody called about it today. There's, the DNR is doing something
Yeah.
about deer harvesting.
There is. It's like a long time, like from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I looked at the class.
Yeah, it
I don't
is.
think I can fit that into my schedule. I was wondering if you might go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what well, they might have some ideas as to what you can do.
I was talking, there was one community, they took 411 deer out of it.
And I were probably.
First year, wasn't it, might have been, and
Ann Arbor,
then they took
thinking-
255,
Yeah,
and
people are
all
going
this year, they
crazy.
took 25.
On the Jennings Road there.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of Ann Arbor, this is what I heard, is they're going to allow approximately 28, they don't call them provisionary centers. Yes, for
Okay,
marijuana.
very well, I mean, what else?
Right. My understanding is the municipality only gets tax revenue from the dispensary. If you don't do dispensary, I'm not sure if you get tax revenue from the state.
You do.
Revenue
only-
sharing, you don't get the revenue
You
sharing.
don't get the $65,000 kicker
Yeah, you don't get that if you don't
to
do,
a dispensary, yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So what's provisionary?
It's the same as
Well, they're
dispensary,
growing
but
it.
now they're called provisionary centers.
Provisioning centers, yeah.
That's,
So
that-
people-
that's the name.
I think people are coming up with that, oh, wow, we're not gonna have medical marijuana dispensaries in Ann Arbor.
No, they're
It's
gonna
just,
have
I
28.
mean, we only got it so far, Los Angeles, it was a hash patch, remember? Ann Arbor was home of the hash
They're gonna
patch.
have
Still
28
is.
there.
They still have it?
Oh, absolutely.
They still have the hash patch?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
last,
it's
last month, I think.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's,
in April, I think they had.
Yeah, last, yeah,
And it's
April
legal.
20th or
I just
something like
thought
that.
they make it mild too.
I guess so.
Huh?
April.
Don't they
420 or 422 or something,
That I
like a
can't-
number.
Don't know that.
One of those churches,
Right,
22nd church.
It gotta be 420. Yeah, they just had that.
They still have
I
that?
seen something in the paper, yeah.
Can't imagine marijuana
I had a
dispensary.
marketing professor from Ann Arbor that used to talk about that.
Speaking of vegetables,
It is
anything
from
going on with our corn place?
Contract signed,
It's a long
pole,
day.
at DT put the poles in electricity,
Good.
Yeah.
the
That
electric's
one of those
coming in.
classes?
So what
Trees
we-
are,
what
trees
we
are all
do here
trimmed.
last board?
Trees are all
Deer
trimmed.
management?
Yes,
Right?
that's the
So I
same
did-
day you got,
They open in July.
the
Typically,
treasury
the corn's
guy
late
coming.
this year, it's way late.
Good job.
It's late, you know, so. Donna's at the farmer's market, and I talked to two people, it's been 2 weeks ago at her work. Their strawberries were just blossoms, there weren't even any strawberries yet, 2 weeks ago. And usually strawberries, you know, by the end of June, they're done, by 4th of July, strawberries are
3
done.
weeks, I think,
Yeah.
everything is. 3 to 4 weeks.
So then I plant my tomato plants at home Memorial Day weekend. Now, it's a method to all madness, okay? Bought them at the same place, Big Boy, Better Boy. Bought 'em- Same place,
Same
same
ones.
plant.
Beef
same-
sticks.
So 2 weeks later, I buy Big Boy, Better Boy, same place, planting here at the township. I've got 8 tomatoes on the vines out here. They're probably 60% the size of my plants at home, and I have no tomatoes in my plants at home. And the other was fertilizing
ones
yesterday.
at home are
I got one tomato that
I
big.
was gonna ask you, is it more sun here, but we haven't had no sun.
Well,
So
at my
that's-
house, I got sun in the morning, it's shaded late in the afternoon. Here it's shaded early in the morning, and it's sun the rest of the day. But it's the same amount of sunshine over the course of the
Yeah,
day.
we get the hotter sunshine.
I was gonna say, you get the hot sun in the afternoon.
Right,
What's that?
you get the hotter sun,
In the
but it
afternoon.
hasn't been that much sun.
But I just can't, I can't believe, like I said, I got like 8 tomatoes. I went home last night, I was almost a magnifying glass. There's none here. I thought, how can I miss tomatoes? I walk by them every day, because there aren't any. I was looking at this, and I said, wait, there's another one, it's just, and one's a big boy and one's a better boy, so it's 2 different plants. I don't know.
Okay, time to adjourn.
Put in your calendar too.
So we have